So I introduce myself again for everybody. I am Letizia Pernigotti, SpagoBI consultant. I'm here in place of Virginie that has had a unexpected thing, and I'm here to introduce you to the new with the SpagoBI 5. So just to introduce our company, the SpagoBI labs are part of engineering group, which is the leading IT actor in Italy on software and services segment. And the group counts more than 7,300 employees and more than 40 sites in Italy, Belgium, Argentina, Brazil, Republic of Serbia, and USA. In particular, the Technical Innovation and Research Division counts more than 1,500 researchers and technologies, just to say some numbers, including SpagoBI Labs, which fully manage the open source SpagoBI project. SpagoBI is a completely open source business intelligence suite developed and managed by SpagoBI Labs, as said before. SpagoBI is open source because it's released under a weak copyleft license, compliant to MPL 2, Mozilla Public License 2, so allowing its commercial use and its embedding in other products, both proprietary and open source. It is said that it's just the most commercial friendly open source license. So SpagoBI adopts the pure open source model, which eliminates any licensing cost, separating the rights to use, modify, distribute the software from the sale of software services, avoiding both software lock-in, so there is no customer obligation to buy, and vendor lock-in, the right to buy the service from any provider. SpagoBI is hosted by OW2 Forge, which is an open source community in Europe, contributing to the durable and collaborative development of a long-lasting ecosystem. SpagoBI furthermore is a complete and flexible BI suite because it covers the whole range of analytical needs. Then we will see later, supporting developers, testers, and administrators in their daily work, offering a modular architecture based on open standards that allows easy customization and integration into legacy environment or in a proprietary product, as said before. So moving to the architecture of SpagoBI, the architecture relies on 5 main modules. So there is the server, which is the core of SpagoBI, the core of the suite, where all the analytical functionalities are provided. This is the reference environment for the final user and the administration. Then we have the studio and the meta. The meta is the environment to create and manage metadata models, which represent a data domain and abstract from the underlying data structures. These modules is dedicated to the BI developers and data owners. And the studio is instead the environment to develop all kinds of analyses, which are then made available for the final users. This module is also dedicated to the BI developers and offers a visual environment for the creation of the analytical documents and the functionalities to release them on the server for the final user. Then we have the SDK, the set of API compliant to the SOA architecture, allowing external applications to interact with SpagoBI server and its metadata. And finally, the application vertical analytical, which is a set of analytical models reduced on specific application domain. For instance, SpagoBI for quality or for healthcare. So vertical application for very specific domain. Regarding the analytical scope of SpagoBI, we can identify four main areas. So there is a ready-to-use area, we can say, where you can find all the more traditional BI documents like reports, charts, interactive dashboards, KPIs, so key performance indicators, mobile document like mobile dashboards, charts. So documents that are prepared by an IT expert or by the administrator and then are ready to use for the final user. Then we can also find a build by yourself area where the final user can by himself build his personal reporting, like personal chart or personal investigation on the dataset on his data. So ad hoc reporting, self-service BI, and the new in-memory cockpit that we will see later. Then again, an explorative area where you can find the OLAPQ, and in particular the new OLAPQ that we have developed, and a tool for the visual inquiring of your data. A very user-friendly visual inquiring where the final user can inquire his data via drag and drop interface. And last but not least, the advanced analytics area where you can find more advanced analysis like the location intelligence, the data mining, which is also a new integration in the 5 version of SpagoBI of R into the suite that we are going to exploit later. The real-time console, network analysis, the Woodchip, and the social listening. Both of them are new features of SpagoBI, that SpagoBI 5 in particular. Then, obviously, big data, hot topics. In SpagoBI, you can challenge big data in order to extract knowledge and value from large volumes of heterogeneous data. Data sources range from databases and appliances like Teradata, Vectorwise, NetData, but not only standard DB, also NoSQL databases like HIP, OrientDB, MongoDB, and HDFS, for instance. That's just an example of the different database and data source that we can handle and the tool that we can use to for them to interrogate, to inquire them, and to analyze, and then to visualize the results of our analysis. Then data mining. Since the 5 version of SpagoBI, in this version there is the integration of R into SpagoBI. So this allows advanced data analysis with algorithm written or developed in R in order to extract knowledge from large or different kind of data in order to improve the decision making and the business strategies. But not only, because the integration of R allows also to have new kind of visualization available for anyone, and it also allow this product to be a product for data scientists. So a data scientist can write his own code, his own algorithm in R, and then he can integrate them into SpagoBI and view inside SpagoBI the results. Another new feature that we will see in the demo is the social listening, the new social listening engine. So this is very useful when one needs to extract and analyze information on people's attitudes, for instance, interest or opinion, through specific tools that allows social listening, sentiment analysis, and campaign evaluation. As you can see here, the idea is to be able to hear from the web what people are saying, and then use the intelligence to understand and to analyze what they are saying, and then being able to visualize, to render this information understandable for the final user. So how this sentiment, the social listening environment is. This is the, I'm going to spend some minutes on this new environment. So this is the first, how to say, page where you can schedule your research, your search on the web. This is done on Twitter, but it can be done in the future on other web sources. So this is the classical example is a campaign. You are performing a campaign and you want to monitor the result of your campaign on the web. You want to monitor if what people are saying, if they are happy or not happy with your campaign, or if, for instance, your sales are increasing. So there are two ways you can download tweet. There is the online monitoring and the historical monitoring. What this means, these rely on two different API of Twitter. The first allows you to download Twitter tweets real time, and the second to go back some days. These are just the free API of Twitter, so the online monitoring is limited to a certain amount of tweets, while the historical one allows you to go back 5 or 6 days. Then here you can define the name of your campaign and the keywords you want to search. For instance, could be 1 or 2 or more keywords that you want to search the tweet on. Another possibility is the one to monitor some account or resources. So for instance, you can monitor if I'm performing a campaign, I want to know if my personal account of SpagoBI receive more followers, or the page, the account of the company increases the number of followers. And in a similar way, I would like to monitor if some web resources are receiving more visits coming from the shortened link, the bit.ly link that I've posted in my campaign inside Twitter. This empty field is for an optional scheduling of a SpagoBI document, for instance, reports on your analysis that you want to monitor together with the resources, the online resources, in order to know if with your campaign, for instance, your sales are actually increasing. And as you can see, you can define different time windows for the download of the tweet and the monitoring of the resources, because usually if you are performing a campaign this week, probably the effects of this campaign are visible next week or not exactly in the same days. So what are the results of these analyses? The first is just a summary pictures of the situation of the tweets that you have downloaded, and here on the top you can see just a summary information, basic statistics of the number of tweets and retweets per time in the interval, in the period that you have selected. And then just some other basic statistics regarding the tweet source, the number of tweets and retweets, and the most recent tweets and the top tweets. Then another view on your research. On the left, there is a very easy workload on the hashtags, so the more important, the more frequent hashtags, while on the right there is a more complex one related to topics. Behind this there is an algorithm written in R that analyzes every tweet, downloaded every tweet, and in order to discover the topics that the tweets are about, because it's not always true that the hashtag is also the topics. Maybe I'm using a hashtag in order to refer to something, not to say that I'm talking about that. So it could be very useful to compare hashtag with topics. Another tab is the network. So in order to see how the network is structured or there is distributed, You can see here the top influencers are in your network and the most user mentioned, user or pages mentioned. Then you have a user interaction graph where you can see how the different users in your network are interacting with each other and how they are distributed, how these interactions are distributed all over the world. Another flat view regarding the geographical distribution is this, where you can see where the most of the tweets are coming from in a very flat way all over the world. And this is the sentiment analysis. So as you can see, there are several point of view that you can use to watch at your campaign, at your tweets that you have downloaded. This is really related to sentiment. So people that are talking about the keywords you are interested on, how are they talking about? Good, bad, are they happy, are they unhappy? They don't know. So you can see here there is a basic aggregate information on the percentage of happy people or unhappy people about the tweets that you have collected. And here below there is more drilled information where the polarity is split by topic. So you can see that more positive topics are the top one, and when people are talking about negative or they are not happy, they are talking about this topic. And another way of viewing this characteristic could be to look at the radar, the sentiment radar. Here on the external circle there are the topics, and inside you can see the sentiment. So the greener part is related to the happy people, so positive polarity, while the red one is the negative polarity. And here you can see how the polarity is distributed all over your topic, all over the topic that people are talking about. The other tab is the one related to impact. What does this mean? This means that, for instance, you want to monitor if the number of, in this case, are followers of the accounts that you have decided to monitor at the beginning is increased or not. So here you can see the trend of the number of followers of the accounts that you have decided to monitor. And here, in a very similar way, you can see the trend of the click of the resources, the web resources that you have decided to monitor in the first part. So it's a very basic trend of the monitored resources. And last but not least, this is an example, just an example of a SpagoBI document that could be related to your scheduled campaign in order to see if in the window of time that you have selected the sales or costs are actually increasing or not. So this is just an overview of the tool that we will see. However, we are going to see this better in the demo in the final part of this webinar. This is another new of the SpagoBI 5. This is a very powerful tool. This is called Woodchip and allows you to perform Woodchip analysis. What this means? This allows you to simulate scenarios and predict the effects of potential changes in your business strategies through a specific OLAP tool, enabling instant insight at different detail levels. So this is the interface of our new OLAP cube developed by us, and here you can see that you can click on a cell and edit its value, edit with a very basic syntax or using also the meta language. And then all these modification propagate all along the cube, and you can save version and compare them. We will see this better in the demo. Yes. Then another improvement in the 5 version is related to the self-service analysis. So the final user, this is always what the final user can do. He can self-build his analysis not only on certified enterprise data, but also on private and unstructured data with the CSV and XLS5. The new feature of these in the 5 is the so-called in-memory cockpit. This allows the final user to create his own cockpit, so not only single charts or table as before, but also a composed document with different widgets that the final user can design by himself. And these tools enable associative logic. This means that each widget can rely on different dataset and so on different data source. This enables also federation in some sense of the data, because I can visualize information and data coming from a data source here and another information coming from different data source here, and I can define an associative logic between the two widgets if they have clearly some fields in common. And then the mashup capabilities of these tools allow me to compare and to view together these different information from different data sources. Just last word, as we have said, SpagoBI is a complete product that could be used on different ways, on-premise, as a service, on cloud, and we deliver different services. So from the user support, technical support, maintenance for bug fixing, or consulting and development for project, and also training from the catalog or on-demand personalized training, webinar like this one, and tutorials, and detailed also documentation, written documentation also on the wiki, on the public wiki SpagoBI, the community, and on the forum. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. You should be able to speak, otherwise if there are any problem, just try to write in the chat. Any questions? So if you is there anyone has some questions? Otherwise I'm going to ask you just a very quick poll. So let me see. I'm going to start a poll. It's just one question, just very question. Okay, now the poll is open. You should see it, and we are asking you just a very easy question to know if you are already using or not SpagoBI, just to understand your interest or your relation with the suite. So I will give you just 1 minute to answer. Okay, everyone can see the poll. I suppose yes. Okay, I think that I can close the poll. Okay, everyone has voted. Yes. Okay, so these, for every question, every other question or needing of further information, you can contact us. This is our address, spagobi.eng.et, @eng.it, sorry, and our website for every kind of information. Now I'm going to show you a very quick demo of the novelty of the SpagoBI 5 suite. So I'm switching here. I hope that everyone can see. Here now I am already logged in, and SpagoBI, this is the user web interface. This is just the welcome reports, predefined reports, part of the ready-to-use analysis developed for the administrator, for the final user. Now we can start, for instance, with the what if. So I move here, and we will see how, oh sorry, the session is over, but I'm okay. So we are going to see how the final user can perform his simulation analysis. Okay, so I move to the simulation. So the interface is the same as the OLAP. So the OLAP in the SpagoBI 5 has this exactly the same interface as the Woodchip, the same look and feel. And here you can see this is your cube. Now it's a very simple view. We can modify the view, for instance, in order to see also the cost. This is just a very basic sales and cost situation for here. There are no data, but for these, okay. And I can decide to view also, for instance, drink and non-consumable, just to see something else. Okay. Here, as you can see, you can navigate the cube, but the important thing, the novelty, is that you see here there is, in between the filters, you have new filter which is called version. What does this mean? It means that if I want to, for instance, edit a field like that, I can just suppose that my sales are 20% higher, and as you can see, I just edit the field and the modifications are propagated on the child all over the cube. I could also change this a child value, for instance, in this way, and the modifications are propagated not obviously on the other child but on the father. Yes, there are different algorithms that you can use to define how this modification propagate, and there is also the possibility for the user, the administrator and the user to define his own algorithm. Then, when you are satisfied with your mm, with your modification, you can decide to save your version or to save as a new version. For instance, we can just insert name, description, and this operation can take some minutes because in this moment it's actually writing this data. He's actually storing the data in another version so that you can then compare the different version, and he's storing the modification on all the cube. You can try different version, you can try different scenarios and simulations, and then you can also share your different version with, for instance, manager or other users or something like that. Now it happens it's taking a little bit too long, but and maybe I could wait a little bit again. Sorry, maybe there is some problem with my computer. Okay, it did it. And then you can decide to drag the version filters on your measures in order to actually compare the different versions. You see here you have your store sales and all the different versions. There were predefined preconstated version, and you can see all the difference in just one window. This is just the basic behavior, the basic functionality of this new tool. Then we can move to the new cockpit just to show you the main novelties, just some of them. These are an example. This is already prepared, but as I said before, the final user can do it by himself. This is just an example of interactive cockpit with the new cockpit with the associative logic. As you can see here, you have different widgets, and if you click on one, for instance on food, on the pie, the data on the other widget are updated. You can see here there are only information regarding foods, and here you can see only information regarding foods. You can also click here, and the information here on the right are updated. You can clear the selection and start again. As you can see, this is possible thanks to two different things. The one is this association editor. Here you can see the two different datasets. The dataset is the core object of SpagoBI where your data are organized, like table row and table where the chart are reading the data. And here there are two different datasets that could be based on two different data sources also, and this cockpit can perform association thanks to this relation that I have defined. I am saying that this column called product family here is the same as the one called family here, and the same for the category column, as you can see here. Thanks to this, he is able to perform this association and update the widget in order to where I click. The other thing that you may have noticed is that I can decide which widget is updatable or not. Here you can decide if a widget is updatable or clickable. Updatable means that if you click on something, he refreshes, and clickable means that you can click on it and send that information to the other widget. This is just a very simple graphical user interface in order to define the type of widget, the kind of widget that you can insert in your cockpit. You see there are table, pivot table, and the most classical chart. That's the new interactive cockpit. And to conclude, just to show you another new feature of SpagoBI 5, I can show you an example of the social analysis environment that we described before. So this is the first part where you can define the data and the schedulation of your research, as I explained before. And here you can find the previously defined researching and scheduled research. For instance, I've tried one on Dolomiti, and here I can see the results of this analysis. Now this has been done only a few days, so it's a very short time window, but It could be, however, of interest to see. Did you see? This is the summary part with the very basic statistical information. You have a time scale, and you can decide which time scale use. Sorry. And now this is just for a few days, but it could also be done for more days. And then you can sorry. Then you can see the summary on which part is a tweet, which are retweets, and sources of your tweet, so that you can understand if your users are using most mobile devices or computers or something like that. Then an overview of the top tweets, the most important tweets, and the most recent tweet at the time of your research. Then in this research, the advanced analytics with R has been disabled because it is optional, and so you can see only the hashtags cloud. But if you would have decided to enable also the advanced R analytics here, you could have seen also the topic word clouds, the topics for cloud. Then the network distribution, the network situation of the tweets that you have downloaded. So top influencer and top user, top accounts mentioned. Here there is a user interaction graph where you can play, you can analyze, and just a word. You can see that here, for instance, for the Lumiti research, there are very separated single group of user interacting with each other. That makes sense because not everybody that is speaking about the Lumiti needs to know the others. I mean, it's a very general topic. And this is the user interaction map, so how these interactions are distributed all over the world. The bigger and the thinner interaction. Here you can see the flat distribution of your tweet. So here you can find the information related to the percentage of tweets with the location enabled, because you know tweets have carry on some metadata, and not every tweet has enabled the metadata about the location. And here you can see, according to the gradient of the color, where the most of the tweets are coming from, and so on. Then the sentiment has been disabled together with the topic because it's regarding the sentiment analysis, but you can enable them with the integration with R. And here that's the impact. This is a very short period of time, so here the number of accounts hasn't increased, but if you perform a research for a larger amount of time, you could see also this sensibly increasing or decreasing. You see here there is the possibility to enable or disable the advanced R analysis. So for the moment it's everything. Do you have any question, any information needed, or feel free to ask questions if you have. Okay, if there are no questions, I thank you again, and I recall you that for any information you can find us at SpagoBI at eng.it. So thank you very much everybody, and hope to hear you soon.
One quick question.
Yeah, question, yes.
Do you have a recording of this?
Sorry?
Do you have a recording of this?
Yeah.
Are you recording this?
Yeah. And we are going to publish
Sorry?
this on YouTube usually. We are going to publish the webinars recorded. You can find on our website the link to the
Right.
webinar.
Okay.
Yes, we are going to publish them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, just another one on your Twitter sentiments analysis.
Yeah.
Is this in real time? So are you plugging into Twitter's API
Yeah.
and then doing the analysis in real time?
No, we are downloading in this feature. This is just a very basic feature. We download the tweet, and then we
Mm-hmm.
perform the analysis on the downloaded tweet. So
Okay.
not
So my next question is,
yeah.
has your system ever have you used your system in analyzing data from plant information, real-time data systems, by any chance?
From sorry, plant information.
Plant information, so data historian systems which collect data within the remits of, say, manufacturing industries, so collecting
Okay.
information from sensors, temperature sensors, pressure sensors, and so on.
Okay. This particular feature here is just for this downloaded tweets, but we have performed other kind of analysis, yes, on real-time data. It's happened with the other projects, and yes, there are different kind of algorithm, different kind of structure, but we usually we also had perform some real-time analysis
All right.
on our project. But if you are interested on, we can discuss it on or separately. I mean, just write to us and we can discuss this kind of analysis if you are interested on.
Okay.
Just to
Okay.
discuss if you want.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And thank you for answering my questions. But
Yeah.
just one last one.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I wasn't here at the very start
Oh no, no
because I
problem.
wasn't sure what time you guys were starting. But how
Yeah, no.
much does your product cost?
No, the product has no cost because it's
It's
entirely
open
open source.
source.
Yes, you can download
Right.
it from
Okay.
the forge, and also you can find the download link on our website, and it's entirely open source. Yes, the license is what is said the most commercial friendly license because it's a weak copyleft license, so it means that the product is open source, but you can integrate this product in another commercial product, for instance, and sell it. But SpagoBI by itself is completely free
Free.
and downloadable.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. I take it you have training materials on your website as well.
Yeah, there are links to the past webinars, and there is a documentation. There is a book, but it's on an older version. We are working now on the book on the last version, and there is also the public wiki. So there is a wiki with document references and documentation on the different tool and engine, and also the forum which is a free forum, so all the community answers on the forum, and also we try to answer obviously when we are not too much full of work, but it's
Yeah.
yes, there is also that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I
You're
appreciate your
welcome.
time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, thank you all again. Thank you very much for your time and hope to hear you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.